Hey guys, it's Caitlin, and today I'm going to be showing you my favourite rereads of 2020. In my last video you wanted to see a part 2, so I thought I would recommend books that I have come back to and that I have still loved or loved even more. So let's get started. So the first book is a trilogy, and it's my favourite trilogy of all times at the moment. It was one of the first books that I read that got me into reading, and it is the Hunger Games trilogy. I love this. I think this is such an original idea. I think it's amazing. My favourite is definitely The Hunger Games. It's by Suzanne Collins, by the way. If you don't know what it's about, it's a bit complicated to explain, but I'll just explain the first book. So there's this country, and there was a war, and it left the country in turmoil, and so to prevent further wars, the capital, which is in the centre, makes all the outlying districts, there are 12 of them, every year give a male and female tribute to the Hunger Games, which is a fight to the death in an arena. And it's so awesome, it's so good, I really recommend it. I loved all of the books. I loved the first one the most, and then it just kind of like the love for it decreased as the series went on. The last book, The Mockingjay, was my least favourite, mostly because it felt a bit rushed, but apart from that, it's really good and I would really recommend it. So the next book is Room by Emma Denogue. My best friend Abby recommended this to me. If you're watching this right now, Abby, hi. And I watched the movie and it was really good. I found it really emotional, and so I got the book. And if you don't know what it's about this 5-year-old boy called Jack, and his mum, when she was younger, got kidnapped by this guy and put in this room, which is very small, and then she proceeded to have Jack whilst in the room, and so she told him that the room is the whole world, so he has no idea what's on the outside, or that he's trapped throughout. And it's just from his perspective, and it's really interesting. And the first half is a bit slow. It does take a while to get going, but once it does, it's really worth it. I would really recommend it. So the next book is The Help by Catherine Stockett. I know that a lot of these editions of books are a bit tattered. It's because I got them from charity shops and then proceeded to read them myself very thoroughly. I loved the movie. I grew up watching the movie. My mum introduced me to this and I loved it. So when I saw the book, I was like, oh, let's get the book. And the first time I read it, I was a bit too young to fully enjoy it and understand it to the extent that I needed to. And then I read it again this year and the full impact just hit me and I was blown away. So it's set in the 50s or 60s in Mississippi, roughly then. And it's about this white woman called Miss Skeeter, and she wants to write a book about, from the perspectives of the help. And in those times, racism was very high, it was very bad, and it was very dangerous to talk about your white bosses like that. So it's really interesting just to see how far we've come, although we still have a long way to go. So the next book is Elaminopia by Mark Dunn. This is a classic. I read this for my English Lit coursework. I didn't end up writing about it, but when I read it, I was like, oh, this is so good. It's so interesting. It's written in letter form. And it's about this island. And on this island, there is this monument with the sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, which contains every letter of the alphabet. And it's very religious in the sense that once a letter falls one day, and they decide that it's God's way of saying don't use that letter anymore, so they take it out of their writing, out of their speech, and they learn to communicate without that word. And then more letters start to learn. It's just about how they communicate without letters, and it's really interesting. And the fact that it was written in letter form made it so good. Okay, so my most favourite reread of 2020 is The Power by Naomi Alderman. I studied this one because I thought it would benefit me when I go to uni. My best friend Abby also recommended this book to me. And it covers so much. It covers gender issues, racism issues, homosexual issues, I want to believe. It covers everything important, politics, and it's just about how women develop this electrical power and men don't, and women slowly begin to take over the role of power, and it's just about how the world changes because of that, and it's just really, really interesting. And it's from so many different perspectives, male and female, different ages, and I absolutely love it. And when I was studying it, I was like, every so often getting a post-it note and being like, oh my god, it would be great to write about if you're looking for something to write about for your English Lit course if you are taking one. Okay, so those are my favourite rereads of 2020. They make me so happy, those books. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, because I like to know if I'm doing something wrong. Leave a comment down below for any video ideas you have for me, because I could do with a bit of help. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.